Righto guys, welcome back to Dusty Boots Outdoors. Today, pretty much, I don't know if many of you know that we've just brought the 4.6 Renegade for our 2023 edition. We're going to be travelling back into the Northern Territory again. And we live up here in North Queensland, and a lot of our tides and that, they can be pushing up to 6 metres at times. So I was looking for a quality anchor online, and I've stumbled across Boomer Anchors. And today, we have the creator of Boomer Anchors. We've got Duncan with us.
How are you, mate?
Duncan Webster. Mate, what can you tell us? What made you go and design an anchor?
Well, Dustin, it was really a case of fishing frustration. I lost a couple of anchors. We predominantly fish on reef and things like that. So I lost a couple of anchors with what are the traditional releases that are out there at the moment. And so I'm a fitter and turner, that's my trade, and a farmer. And so I came up with a shear pin design. And this was actually the old original design that we came up with. It looks all rusty and worn out at the moment. But I made that anchor in my farm shed 16 years ago.
Okay.
And so my father, he's not around anymore, but at the time he said, I don't think that'll work, you know. But we tried it on the boat.
Yep.
And I said, well, after 3 trips, if it doesn't work, we'll throw it back in the back of the shed and we'll go back to the other traditional anchors that are out there.
Yes.
And we used that for 10 years, that anchor. And it got to the stage where it was virtually worn out. So I started to make stainless steel ones, and eventually we commercialised it to what we call a Boomer anchor today.
Righto.
So how this works is because this was all test and sort of trial and error at the start. I didn't know whether it would work or not, but basically it has a shear pin in there, Dustin.
Yep.
So basically all you do is if the anchor does really get stuck, you just drive forward with the boat, the pin will shear, and that old anchor collapses.
And that's retrieving straight up.
Yeah, yep. That's how we started with it, and it's progressed obviously to what you see today. I suppose wanted an anchor that was based on safety.
Yep.
Performance, obviously it had to perform, and versatility, something that could actually, because we fish in the reef, we go into the bays, we camp up in the bays. So you're changing anchors, all that sort of stuff.
So this is good for sand, reef,
yeah, mate, yeah.
Yep, whatever, just the one anchor, away you go.
That's right. One anchor will do the whole lot, ranging from 3 metre boats up to 9 metre boats, and we're actually testing some out on 30-foot Rivieras at the moment. They're 9-tonne boats. Yeah,
righto.
We're not saying that that's going to be, we may need to build a bigger design for those sort of boats, but the reports that are coming back are saying that this anchor's holding those boats too, which is fantastic.
Awesome. Yep. And what's the safety aspect of it? Like, basically.
Yeah. Well, that shear pin design there. If you get stuck, if you really get stuck on a reef, as many fishermen will know, it's bloody hard to get it off.
Yep.
But all we do with this one here, that it has there's a measured pressure that will make that shear pin break.
Yep.
And then collapse the anchor, all right? So we've got 3 different size pins. You don't change the size of the anchor.
Yep.
You just change the size of your shear pin.
Yep.
And when we send them out to people, all right, they get a whole box of goodies. They get a full pack of pins, and there's 3mm pins, 4mm pins, and 5mm pins in there.
Yep.
So this 4mm pin, for example, will break at 100 to 120 kilos of pressure every time.
Yep.
So it becomes really consistent. You get to know, that's the amount of pressure I need to release my anchor safely.
Yep.
3mm pins are 60 kilos, and the 5mm pins, they're like 200 kilos. They're for the 30-foot Kevlar cats, the big guys.
Yep. And I suppose that's for all the people at home. Like if you've been on the reef, you've got that bit of swell coming through, trying to get your anchor off, you're pulling the nose of your boat down.
That's right.
You've got the wave splashing over the front.
Yep.
A lot of times you have that little port window open where you're out the front there, trying to get your anchor. Next minute your bed's all wet, that sort of stuff. But so I suppose it relieves all that sort of issues from you. Replace the shear pin and away you go again.
Yes, it does. And we've been using the concept for like 16 years or so, and I've got to the stage where I'm very confident in dropping anchor anywhere. Doesn't matter where, you know that you've got the best chance of getting it back if it does get stuck.
Very nice. Like, if you're in the mud or the sand or the reef, do we do anything different to the anchor? Just
Yeah.
throw them over, or there's different modes for it?
There
or?
are. Versatility, I was talking about versatility.
Yeah.
I designed the anchor for predominantly reef and sand in the early stages, and it works extremely well in reef and sand. But I wasn't 100% happy with mud. It was always, you know, I've got a tinny, a little bit smaller than yours, go up the creek, and I just wasn't 100% happy with how it held in mud. So I just kept playing around with the concept, playing around with it. And if you have a look, you'll see there's two little nicks.
Oh, yep.
Nicks there.
Yep.
So it came up with an idea. I thought, well, what if I could actually open this anchor up so it's more like an umbrella, like you try and pull a wider area. It doesn't have the surface area of the sand anchors and the plough anchors.
Yep.
But what I could do is actually open the anchor up. So you take your pin out, you click the anchor out, you put the pin, line up the hole again, put the pin back in, and you've got what we call mud mode.
Okay.
Right? And so mud mode is, if you have a look at it, it's obviously a different shape.
Yep.
I was able to make these fins wider, so you've got more surface area, and these are like large breaks. So what happens is every time that anchor will plough down into mud and sits there and sucks onto the mud, and it really holds extremely well, about 25% more holding capability in mud, and obviously in sand.
Yep.
Another 25% holding capability in sand if you want to use it in sand.
Beautiful.
But it still collapses. If it gets stuck or something, it still has the shear pin release.
Yep.
So it covers all of those bases.
Yeah, right. And what's it actually made of, Duncan? Like, is it all stainless steel? It's aluminium?
No. 316 stainless steel. I decided to, if I was going to do this, I'm 62 years of age. I don't want to be doing this over and over. So I just said, I'm going to do this as well as I possibly can.
Yep.
And so 316 stainless steel. We've also electropolished it, which gives it that beaten stainless look that you see, and that gives it another level of corrosion protection also. So it's all the good stuff. We went for the good stuff. I understand that brings it up into that higher price bracket.
Yep.
But I just decided that I only wanted to explain the price once.
Yes.
Then have to, you know, have problems with lack of quality, if you know what I call it.
Yep. For about 16 years now, you've been trialling and that sort of stuff.
Yep.
How long have you had anchors, I suppose, out there in this form? Like, are they 10 years old and still looking like the day they brought them, or?
Well, my anchor on my boat still looks like the anchor I put on it, you know, that was 3 or 4 years ago. They don't change, they look great. You may get the odd little tea stain that will come. Yep. These pins aren't a stainless steel pin, they're a zinc coated pin, and they're designed to break down. It was our little environmental side of things. We didn't want to leave zip ties behind and stuff, so we left something. If that shears, it breaks down. Right?
It's gone, yep.
But we released, or went commercial with this product in October last year.
Okay.
So it's only been out for a year.
Yep.
And we're now in countries like America, New Zealand. We're talking to South Africa at the moment. But hey, it's an Aussie product. This is an Aussie, you know, like it'll always be Aussie, you know, and it's doing extremely well. We've got a number of stockists right around the country, and that's growing. That number is growing because, you know, it is different. We understand that, and the message that I've been trying to get to people is more of understanding it, understanding the concept. Once people understand it, they love it. They tell their mates, and that word of mouth, very much like what's happened with you and me, gets out there. And
beautiful. And how do people find you, mate? If someone's interested in this anchor, how do they buy one?
You can buy them online at Boomer Anchors, www.boomeranchors.com.au. But also we have stockists. Look up the website. We're going to put all our stockists' names, all the different ones throughout the country. But also go down to your local marine dealer. Ask. You'll be surprised. They could be there. I had a guy this morning rang me and said, "Oh, I bought one of these," and then I went down to my marine dealer and, oh, there's one on the shelf.
Yeah, right, eh?
So they're out there, and it's really, really growing.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Duncan. All the best with the anchor. Guys, any user at home, jump online, check Boomer Anchors out. I'm sure you'll be happy with the product.
Thanks, Dustin.